President and Chair of the Board of Directors, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank.
Good morning, distinguished guests, colleagues, friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor to be invited to attend this important meeting organized by the Hong Kong organizers in the government. Hong Kong is the right venue for this conference, given its theme as a global financial center. Here in this global city, global finance for resilient and sustainable growth has always drawn from the nutriment yielded by the typical Asian dynamism. And here in this global city, innovation is anchored in the rule of law and rigorous enforcement. Observance to high standards of governance at the administrative level and corporate level is the integral component of the ethos of the community in Hong Kong. We are convening at a pivotal moment marked by profound and interconnected global challenges, increasing geopolitical tensions, rising trade protectionism and tariff disputes, and devastating disasters due to unchecked climate change. All this has extended gaps between the rich and poor countries. Nowadays, AI is all the rage. A lot of people are worried over, but not very much clear about, the implications of such a rapid technological breakthrough for our human life. AI can and should not be stopped, cannot and should not be stopped on its steep curve of its upward move. But definitely, it must be harnessed. Otherwise, we will be harnessed. So, for this, global governance is the key. We need global governance to harness AI. And all those issues boil down to one big question: how should we handle this? It is more important than ever for all residents of our planet to unite in pursuit of collective interests and benefits. Some members of the global community should lift themselves out of the trap of the zero-sum game mentality. People should look beyond a narrow vision of short-term self-interest to embrace multilateralism and systemic thinking, enjoying a panoramic vision of field for unlimited opportunities. Today, I like to speak about something that is often treated as a background, but it is, in fact, this very center, interconnecting with everyone and every aspect of our lives. That is, nature. For decades, development finance has focused on what we can readily see and quantify easily: roads, ports, railways, power grids, water treatment plants, and so on and so forth. These assets are visible, bankable, and insurable. They often sit comfortably on balance sheets of well-managed companies. Yet this asset class, in reality, depends on the foundation of nature. Nature is very complicated and delicate, consisting of multiple ecosystems which serve as its integral components. Damage to any part will be consequential. Green mountains and blue skies and rivers are not just a poetical landscape, nor just a feast to eyes. They are factors of production. Nature is infrastructure. It is not what we made as humans, but it underpins all man-made infrastructure. For too long, we treat nature as a gift, free and inexhaustible. It is neither. No sooner we lose these ecosystems than penalty would be imposed on us. Drought, flooding, with their consequential crop failure, lost lives and property. Food insecurity, lost jobs, and then social chaos are anathemas to any government. If we do not act now to reinforce the natural systems that foster of livelihood, the cost will rear its ugly head in hospital wards, on insurance balance sheets, and in strained municipal budgets. The value of nature as infrastructure can be assessed at the price of cost, which would otherwise be incurred in case of failure to stave off the anthropogenic disaster. Once we understand nature as infrastructure, the next logical question arises: how can finance help maintain and restore it? This is where finance, and especially digital finance, becomes transformative. Finance can turn investment projects to safeguard nature from an ethical aspiration into an investable asset class. Investors would refrain from financing good intentions. They would only be willing to finance services with a rate of return that can be measured and predicted. Advances in AI, data infrastructure, satellite monitoring, the blockchain now make it possible to measure with data with what health and sound ecosystems can actually deliver. Digital platforms allow these services to be verified, registered, and tracked. That is the very first step in converting ecological performance into financial performance. Once we can verify nature's services, we can start pricing them. This is how innovative financial instruments such as biodiversity credits, water quality credits, or nature-linked bonds are emerging. They allow cities, insurers, and companies to pay for risk reduction and resilience, turning what used to be an unpriced benefit into defined financiable service. For instance, carbon credit tokenization already shows how an opaque, high-friction market can evolve into 24-hour, 7 days marketplace with lower costs and broader access. The same logic can apply to nature assets. If properly standardized and verified, public budgets alone cannot meet adaptation and restoration needs. Scaling requires private capital, which flows when assets are clear, risks are managed, and transactions are efficient. Digital financial infrastructure, from stable and programmable payments to tokenized real-world asset and smart contracts, lower frictions, ties payments to verified outcomes, and broadens participation. In short, we measure nature to recognize it as an asset. We verify it to make it investable, and we digitize markets to scale it. Ecosystems like Hong Kong's vibrant fintech sector play a crucial role in connecting environmental data, financial structures, and global capital. Now, how about Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank? At AIIB, we believe finance is not just the flow of funds and returns. It's a tool to improve lives, expand opportunities, and advance progress. Our task is to align finance with long-term development to ensure capital rewards the creation of real resilience, not its erosion. Our work translated this philosophy into action. Our flagship report, Nature as Infrastructure, reframes ecosystems such as forests, wetlands, and watersheds as essential infrastructure assets that deliver measurable economic and social returns. Nature-based solutions have been mainstreamed into AIIB's infrastructure project design and implementation, together with support for stand-alone natural infrastructure where feasible to enhance climate resilience. Our most recent publication, Infrastructure for Planetary Health, builds on that foundation, examining how infrastructure design can improve public health while advancing climate and biodiversity outcomes. We in AIIB strive to translate into action our conviction that is, sustainable infrastructure must serve both people and the planet. Delivering this vision requires innovation in finance. To mobilize private capital on this scale, AIIB strengthens partnerships and developing new financial pathways. For example, through the Nature Finance Accelerator project, our bank works with commercial banks via on-lending facilities to build diversified portfolios of nature-positive projects aligned with recognized taxonomies. Our forthcoming report, Unlocking Private Finance for Nature as Infrastructure, developed jointly with Paulson Institute and peer MDBs, goes one step further. It introduces the concept of public-private partnership for nature as a model for scaling investment in nature. It outlines enabling conditions that can channel private capital into the restoration and the protection of natural assets as productive infrastructure, and shows how innovative financial solutions like guarantees, insurance, and biodiversity credits can be packaged to stabilize cash flows and de-risk. At the same time, we are enhancing our support for policy and institutional reform through innovative instruments. Our climate-focused policy-based financing goes beyond traditional project-based lending to strengthen the fiscal and regulatory foundations that make climate investment possible. It assists member countries in implementing reforms that scale up climate finance, mobilize private participation, and accelerate the transition to low-carbon climate resilience. Finally, let me say a few words about Hong Kong's role and our cooperation. Few places could be as effective and attractive as Hong Kong in bringing together the strength of a global financial center, a regional connectivity hub, and an international talent pool as effectively as Hong Kong. As an international financial center, Hong Kong is cast in the mold which embodies in it long-term capital, professional expertise, transparent rule of law architecture, and rigorous spirits of pragmatism and innovation. As a member of our bank, Hong Kong has played a steady and a constructive role in supporting our bank's high standards of governance and rapid business growth. It serves as an interoperable platform for our bank to collaborate with a wide range of partners, helping incubate and translate novel ideas into tangible developmental impacts worldwide. We have established a strategic collaboration which Kong-AIIB and Kong-AIIB through fund investments, venture capital platforms, infrastructure loans, securitization, syndication, and co-lending transactions to mobilize capital for sustainable development and climate transition in Asia. As a frequent issuer in Hong Kong capital market, AIIB has enjoyed strong support from the investors in Hong Kong across commercial banks, asset managers, insurance companies, as well as official institutions. To date, AIIB has issued 44 Hong Kong dollar denominated bonds totaling over 17 billion Hong Kong dollar and 29 offshore CNY denominated bonds totaling over $17 billion. And we will go on. These fruitful achievements reinforce my belief in the immense potential for AIIB to further leverage Hong Kong's vitality and creativity in sustainable financing. I'm pleased to announce that our negotiation with the Hong Kong Authority on establishing a hub is in the final stage. And hopefully, you don't have to wait for too long to see the name of AIIB emblazoned on the facade of our office in IFC building. Thank you. We are ramping up our efforts to strengthen the bank's engagement with regional partners and investors. We look forward to continuing our close collaboration with the Hong Kong SAR government as we advance this initiative and deepen our shared commitment to fostering growth and connectivity across the region. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to President Jin. And now we know how important it is to integrate the natural ecosystem